Hello, up here at Eiffel Gardens Assisted Living in Paris, Tennessee, and visiting with my mom, sharing some stories. And Mother, just wanted you to tell them the story about when I was born and what happened after you brought me home and what my big brother Tim had to say about me.
Well, it was on a Sunday morning that Tony Brannon was born, and I didn't get to see him. He was born early that morning, and I didn't even get to see him until afternoon. And I was getting very angry because I couldn't see him, and they kept telling me he was a large baby, but I thought, well, something's wrong with him or something. But finally, I got to see him about 1 o'clock, and
How big was it?
he weighed 8 pounds and 12 ounces, and I thought, oh, good lands, that's a big baby. And then friends and neighbors and church members kept coming and visiting, but Tim couldn't come to visit me in the hospital. Back then, times were different to what they are today. And you don't stay in the hospital very long, like I did then. But
And after about a week, you brought me home.
it was a little over a week that he stayed in the, I stayed and he stayed in the hospital. And of course, Harold kept talking about how big he was and all. So finally, I got to come home, and we turned off of Highway 641 and stopped in Great Granny's yard. It was the first house before you got down to ours, which we were not very far off the highway. But Tim was playing in Great Granny's yard, and
Disturbed his ball game, didn't you?
he was playing ball as usual, and
So he came over to the car and you wanted
he come over to the car and looked in. He was in the car seat. And, he looked down at him, and we said, "What do you think about him?" He says, "Is that it?" With the disappointment in his eyes. Of course, he thought he would get out and play ball with him when he come home.
Well, reckon what people say today when they look at me.
Is that it? And